Hi, everybody, and welcome to our week number 15 Twitch live stream. 15 weeks into our class. We're definitely getting there. And toward the end, if we're on Canvas, we're all the way down here, right in the last row, which feels very hard to believe. But thank you so much for those of you joining me. Hopefully, you can hear and see me okay, and everything's coming through loud and clear. I want to give you a little feedback from last week on the homework assignment and discussion, and then we'll focus on what we have going on this week. I also wanted to point out, if you remember, and I mentioned this previously, that if you scroll all the way down, you'll notice that the rest of the class is now open to you. Okay, so we're currently in week 15 and we'll still follow a week by week format. But if you wanted to work a little bit ahead, week 16 and 17 is open. And my goal with that was just to give you a little bit of flexibility as we enter into what can be kind of a challenging time of the semester. So if you find yourself with a little extra time, like next week or this week or whatever, you could always work a little bit ahead, but we'll still have our normal weekly deadlines. So what I want to do is talk just for a moment about last week before we talk about this week. Last week you were looking at APA formatting part 3. You had discussion 14 and homework assignment number 4. So for the discussion, you were supposed to take these different sources right here and create a references page. Now, a lot of you did a really beautiful job with that. The biggest thing that people did, a lot of you didn't put them in alphabetical order, right? So the first one should have been the one with Acevedo right here. Should have been the first one because that was an A, and then this one started with a D and then an F. So a lot of you didn't put them into alphabetical order. Some of you didn't make a references page. You just kind of put these without some of the information on like a separate document. So that was the biggest thing that I saw, and a lot of you nailed it. I mean, just absolutely got it correct. But the biggest thing is that it should have said references with a page number at the top, and they should have been in alphabetical order. And because there was so little content that you were working on, I was pretty nitpicky about those few things. The other thing last week was discussion, I'm sorry, homework assignment number 4. And so you were taking a document that had no formatting and giving it formatting. And my goal with this was to give you a chance to kind of apply it. So when you open this unformatted paper, the first thing that I hope you noticed right off the bat, it's not double spaced. There's no title page whatsoever. The abstract should be on its own page. All the headings need to be formatted and so on. And so, again, a lot of you did a beautiful job just kind of nailing this. There's no page numbers. So the first thing that you needed to do was create a title page with this information right here. And that should have just been the only thing that was on there was this first part. And then you should have had an abstract page with nothing but the abstract. And then started the paper with the different headings, the title back at the top of it, page numbers. Most of you did a great job on the resources and references right here, but forgot some of those kind of key elements. So again, because you weren't creating anything new, it was a little bit like nitpicky with the grading of it. So if you forgot the title page or you didn't have the double spacing or you forgot the page numbers, you lost some points. But a lot of you did a really wonderful job with that as well. With the final paper that you'll write, it will need to be in APA formatting. You don't need to do a references page just like you didn't on there, but I was hoping that would be good practice for you in applying APA formatting. That was kind of the big focus of last week, how to make a references page, how to cite references in text, and then kind of taking that unformatted paper and turning it into something more APA style. So I hope you feel pretty good about that. Again, a lot of you did a beautiful job, and those of you who didn't, hopefully that kind of clears up what you might have missed. We have this week and next week with content, and then our last week is just the exam and the paper and like that kind of stuff. So for week number 15, we're looking at chapter 14 of the textbook. And as always, you want to do 3 things, right? Read the chapter in the book, read through the lecture, and watch the lecture video. So when you click on the lecture for chapter 14, it'll bring up this little thing here. Now we're looking at replication, generalization in the real world. So you have the summary, what is replication, what does the literature say about meta-analyses, and so on. On the Beyond the Book page, there's a little bit about the replication crisis or debate, which is something that you can read about a little bit here. And then, of course, you have the key terms and review on the last page of the things you'll want to know from this unit for the next exam. So make sure that you read through the lecture, click on any links that are in there. Don't forget to watch the lecture video. This is me lecturing to some PowerPoint slides, kind of going over this. Going to be really helpful for you in terms of understanding the material of kind of my lecture that I've provided for you for the week. You have a discussion this week and then an extra credit opportunity, kind of a very standard, typical week. You're done with the homework assignments. You have completed all 4 of them. So this week and next week, kind of standard weeks, and then that last week, a little bit different formatting. So let's take a look at discussion number 15 together. As always, you have my instructions at the top, followed by my video, followed by the prompt. So for this discussion, you'll be applying the knowledge gained related to chapter 14 on replication, generalization, and the real world. Read the short scenario below, very short, couple sentences, and then answer the questions about it related to chapter 14. So a study with a sample of 28 participants per condition showed that people reported being less satisfied with their lives when asked on a rainy day compared to a sunny day. Later, a replication study using polling data from 1 million people found almost no effect of weather on mood. For your post, answer the following questions, right? Number 1, discuss in detail 3 different reasons why the study might have failed to be successfully replicated. And I gave you a little hint, this table in the book might be especially helpful for you in kind of picking those reasons. But make sure you describe what the reasons are, define them, describe them, and then connect it to this little example, why it might not have been successfully replicated. Then what you'll do, describe 2 potential improvements to scientific research or practice that might help with replication issues, both in this example and in psychological research in general. And discuss how these improvements would potentially relate to this little example that's up here for the discussion. Okay, so when you're ready, you'll hit reply and you can answer everything down here. Don't forget to answer or respond to a classmate to get those 2 kind of easy points of credit. You don't have very many discussions left, just this one and then the one next week. So kind of continue to follow that format. I will, of course, post the recording of this in a little bit. When we're done, I'll start that upload and download process. And I'll give you some reminders and the extra credit question right now. The first one, I did type this out. Don't forget to double check your subscription status even as we get toward the end of the semester here. Remember, that's only good for 30 days, so just double check it really quickly to make sure. If it has expired, go ahead and renew it. The other one I want to remind you of, and I'll put this here in the chat, there will be no Twitch live stream next week on Wednesday, November 26th, due to the Thanksgiving holiday. Okay, so we don't actually have a break from school next week. We have like a normal, typical week, unless you have a Friday class or a Thursday class. But we won't be meeting on Wednesday. My kids have the week off, so they will be home. So I am taking that Wednesday off, and we won't have a live stream. So make sure that you go over everything for week number 16, and then we'll jump back in for one last live stream for week 17, so we can talk about the exam and the experimental proposal project and all the kind of closing stuff. But for now, remember that everything is open for you should you want to work a little bit ahead. And if not, we'll continue our weekly deadlines as we have been. So let me give you the extra credit question for this week. It's something that you can find in the lecture, and I'll put it here in the chat. So this is the week number 15, Twitch extra credit. What is the replication crisis, and describe? Describe to me, what is the replication crisis? And when you're ready to do that, you'll go to week 15 that we're in. Click on optional Twitch extra credit number 15 right here. And then up at the top, click on start assignment. And that will bring up your box where you can type your response. And when you're ready, hit submit for your confetti burst and thumbs up, right? So again, glad a lot of you have been taking advantage of those extra credit opportunities. Those points will just add up and add onto your score, which hopefully will be helpful. Otherwise, again, get going on week number 15, kind of a normal, typical week for us this week. Good luck with all of your classes. Hang in there. It looks like it's going to rain again tomorrow, so stay safe and stay dry. I won't see you next week. So if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful turkey day. I hope you have lots of delicious things to eat. And then otherwise, I will hope to see you all the following week, that first week of December. So I'm going to hang out for a little while, but I'm going to minimize my video just so I'm not staring at myself. But if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you so much for those of you joining me or watching this later. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week and a wonderful holiday if you celebrate.